Hi, it's Connie Erickson with another Live at 5. Today, I want to talk to you about communicating with your partner when you are not in agreement, when you have to make decisions and you're not on the same page. Laura feels like her and her husband are just not on the same page when it comes to a lot of things, disciplining their children, money, and even their relationship. And I get it. This can feel so sad and so lonely. And you see other couples, and in your mind, other couples seem to be so much more unified. And then sometimes you start seeing all the things that are wrong with your relationship instead of what's working. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me say a few words about being on the same page. Once in a while, it's an easy fix. So I'm going to give you a quick suggestion for when that's the case. Let's say your partner wants you to go to his or her work holiday party and you think that's awfully boring. You might ask your partner, okay, scale of 1 to 10, how important is it that I go to your work Christmas party? And he or she might say, well, kind of important. My boss is going to be there and she's really into that kind of thing. And I'm up for a promotion. And yeah, kind of important. So I'd say like an 8 or a 9. And they might ask you, or you might even say, I hate those things, but I don't have any other plans. So I guess like a 4. But check in on me every once in a while and make sure I'm not too bored. So both partners honestly evaluated how important it was to them and agreed on a solution and even requested some planned assistance. This can work for a whole lot of things, like visiting your family at the holidays, deciding what to do on any given weekend, and sometimes making small purchases. But I know what you're probably thinking. It's not that easy. And you're right. Most of the times it is not. Maybe you're in the heat of the moment. Maybe it's really important to both of you. Most of the time, not being on the same page relates more to the things below the surface than what you actually see. Let me explain. Maybe you're arguing about the rules and responsibilities of your teenage children. And maybe your partner, that's generally not an easy, like scale of 1 to 10 kind of argument. And your views on that issue are generally a reflection of so many thoughts and emotions under the surface. In each of in each of sorry, in each of these decisions lie your childhood, the way you were brought up, your biggest fears, your biggest hopes, your core values, a lot of things. So how do you deal with all that? As always, the more you can talk about things ahead of time, the better. So like saying to your partner, oh, I heard Mary Smith's kid is going to a co-ed sleepover. How do you feel about that? If you can't talk about it ahead of time, you might develop a policy like when your teen asks you something to say, oh, wait, let me talk to your mother or father and I'll get back to you. But what about them? What about if you start talking about it and you realize you don't agree at all? Um, well, then maybe you're battling over, let's say, screen time, and your partner says, I think they're fine with screen time. I don't think they really need that much supervision when it comes to screen time. And you ask, so you say, oh, I just saw Connie's live. I'm going to see what's up with that. So you say, oh, help me understand. What's underneath that? Why do you feel that way? Your partner says, I just do, okay? I find that when I get a response like that, people don't really understand why they're feeling a certain way. So one way to help discover it is to ask the opposite. Like, well, what would happen if we did monitor their screen time? What's the downside? What's the worst thing that could happen? And then the core values and the fears and the hopes come out. So maybe your partner thinks it would be too much work for him or her to monitor screen time. Maybe their parents never gave them any privacy and they swore it will be different for their own kids. Maybe they're worried that your kids will resent you. But listen to your partner and stop and consider why you feel certain roles are so important. Look at your own values too. Maybe you fear that too much screen time will hamper their schoolwork, or maybe you're worried that they're not going to have enough friends in real life. All of these are valid concerns and can only really be addressed when you start talking to them, talking about them. When you and your partner can understand where each of you is coming from, that puts the opinions into perspective. It might be a good idea to talk about what's the ultimate goal and then work your way back. Like, what values are we looking to instill in our kids, or what kind of people do we want them to be? When you come at it like that, like from the back end, you might find that you and your partner are more in alignment than you think. Once you come to understand each other's emotions and hopes and fears related to these decisions, it's way easier to come to some kind of agreement about them. And you might even feel closer to your partner. I hope this makes sense to you. As you know, it's my mission to give you the tools and the confidence to have the hard decisions and the fun ones too. But I need to remind you, this is not therapy. These are only tools. Good communication is kind of like taking good care of yourself. A lot of the times it'll keep you out of your doctor's office, but sometimes you still need to get treatment. So with that being said, take what you want, take what's good, and let me know if this was helpful. I see lots of people here. Amy's here, Bobby, Efren, Jerry Lynn, Regina, Sue. So thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, I could stay on the line for a little bit. Okay, well, I'm going to go, and thank you for coming to this week's live, and I hope to see you next week. Thanks. Bye.